I am Purani, Assistant Professor in Civil Department. We are going to see introduction about steel structures. Introduction. First, the common steel structures. In common steel structures, we are using in industrial structures. In industrial structures, the steel members are used as columns, beams, and in roof trusses. Then, in railway stations, the steel members are used as on platform covers. In third one, in bunkers, and then silos. In the construction of bunkers and silo, the steel members are used. And fifth one is an auditorium. In auditoriums also the steel members are used. Then next one is the constituents present in steel. The chemicals present in the steel are iron, carbon, copper, chromium, then manganese, sulfur, and phosphorus. Due to the presence of these chemical compositions, there will be increase in high tensile strength in the steel members, as well as it will give good yielding property. Then the types of rolled steel sections according to Indian Standard Code are types of rolled steel section. The types of rolled steel sections used in steel structures are: first one, rolled steel I section. And second one is an rolled steel angle section. And third one is an rolled steel channel section. And fourth one is an rolled steel T section. Then the next one is an rolled steel tubes. First we are going to see rolled steel I section. One is an rolled steel I section. In rolled steel I section, this is the typical drawing for rolled steel I section. This portion is called as a flange portion. This one is called as a web. Hence the thickness of the flange portion is denoted by TF, and the thickness of the web portion is denoted as TW. This is the breadth. This is the breadth of the I section. This is the depth of the I section. Then second one is a rolled steel angle section. In rolled steel angle section, there are two types of angle section. First one is an equal angle section and second one is an unequal angle section. Rolled steel angle section. First one is an equal angle. This is an L section with the equal length. This length is A and this length is also A. Here the thickness is denoted by T. When unequal angle, unequal angle, same L section. In this is the longer leg, this is the short leg. The length of this longer leg is A and the length of the shorter leg is denoted by B. Then we are going to see the rolled steel channel section. Rolled steel channel section. This is a typical drawing for rolled steel channel section. This is the depth here. This is the breadth. This is the thickness of the flange. Here also it is thickness of the flange and denoted by TF. This is the web portion denoted as TW. The next one, is rolled steel T section. This is the rolled steel T section. This is the depth, thickness of the web, thickness of the flange. This is the flange portion, this is the web portion. The breadth is measured here to here. The next one is on rolled steel tube sections. The rolled steel tubes are available in two forms. First one is in circular section. Then second one is in square tubes. These are the two types of steel tubes. Then we are going to see the stress strain curve for mild steel. Stress strain curve for mild steel. Stress strain curve for mild steel. This is the y-axis and this is the x-axis. This is the percentage of elongation and here it is the stress. Values are 100, 200, 300, 400 and 500. The stress was represented by Newton per mm squared. And the stress strain curve for mild steel is like this. This point is represented by O. This one is A. This one is B. This one is C. This one is C dash. This one is D. And this one is E. By applying this stress, there will be an elongation in the steel. This OAB represents a straight line which obeys the Hooke's law, that is, the stress is directly proportional to strain, and this C point is the yield point of the steel. This is the upper yield point and this is the lower yield point, and this is called as an ultimate stress developed in the steel, and this one is the breaking stress in the steel. And in steel structures, first we are going to see the metal joining methods. In the metal joining methods, there are three types. First one is a welded connection. Then second one is a bolted connection. Then the third one is a riveted connection. First one is a welding connection. First we are going to see what is meant by weld. Weld means we have to make the metal joints to join each other. For that the fusion is required. The fusion should be about 1450 degrees centigrade to 1500 degrees centigrade. And the next one is the methods of welding. The methods of welding, there are four types of methods. First one is an carbon arc welding. And second one is an oxyacetylene welding. And the third one is an inert gas welding. Then the fourth one is a metal arc welding. And now we are going to see the types of weld. There are four types of weld. First type is a fillet weld. In this fillet weld, there are three different connections used. First one is a built-up section. This is an example for the built-up section. And second one is a lap joint. This is the example for lap joint. And the third one is an inverted T section. This is an example for the inverted T section. Then the second type is an butt weld. The butt weld is of two different types. This is an example for single V butt weld, and then the second type is an example for double V butt weld. Then the third one is an slot welding. For this, the example of slot welding is In slot welding, the metal plates are connected like this. Then the plug weld. The next one is on plug weld. The example for the plug weld is like this. Then we are going to see the advantages and disadvantages of welding. First one, the advantages of welding. The advantages of welding, each of the welding section, we had seen the three methods of welded connection. Each of one have its own advantages and disadvantages. First advantages, it is more rigid. Then second advantage of the welding is it gives more efficiency, that is 100% efficiency. And third one is it will give good appearance, good aesthetic view when compared to the bolted and the riveted connections. Advantages of welding are it cannot be done in the overheaded positions as well as in the vertical directions. And the second disadvantage is due to overheat there will be a cause of cracks in the structure. Then the third one is it requires skilled laborers. It requires skilled laborers and it should be maintained properly in a time. And now we are going to solve a problem in this welding connection. First, it is a bracket plate which is connected to this plate by the help of welding. This is the welded portion. This is the depth of the weld. This is the breadth of the weld. The load acting on the weld is 180 kilonewton. This is the y-axis, the x-axis. Then the breadth of the weld is 350 mm. Then the depth of the weld is 380 mm. Then the eccentricity of the weld is 240 mm. This is a symmetrical section in x direction as well as in y direction. First we are going to calculate the x bar. To find x bar, then y bar, then r max, then theta. This portion is called as an R max. This is the maximum distance of the welded portion. This is the theta, make an angle, and this is the thickness of 9 mm. This weld total thickness of 9 mm. First we are going to find x bar. For calculating the x bar, we know the formula for symmetrical section, breadth divided by 2. That is B divided by 2 is equal to 300 divided by 2 is equal to 150 mm. Then due to symmetrical section, then y bar is calculated by D divided by 2. Therefore y is equal to D divided by 2, 380 divided by 2 is equal to 160 mm. Then we are going to find R max. R max is equal to, first we can draw a triangle. We know the distance x bar 150 mm and the y bar is 160 mm. This is the theta, this is the R max. By using the Pythagoras theorem, you can use the formula. It is 150 squared plus 160 squared. Therefore, R max is equal to 242 mm. The next one is we are going to find theta. Theta can be calculated by tan theta is equal to 160 mm divided by 150 mm. Therefore, theta is equal to 51 degrees. Then we are going to calculate the moment of inertia at xx and the moment of inertia at y. First we are going to calculate Ixx. We had studied that in the rectangular portion for Ixx the formula is BDQ by 12. First Ixx is equal to BD cube divided by 12 plus 2 into BD cube divided by 12 plus area into y bar squared. Here the first we are considering the welded portion only. For this the breadth is the, you have to consider this thickness, that is the 9 mm, 9 into, then the depth is, you have to consider this depth 380 mm, 9 into 380 cube divided by 12 plus 2 into, we are multiplying by 2 because here there are two portions of welding in this. So we are multiplying by 2, there the breadth is 300 into, then depth is 9 divided by 12, then the area of this section 300 into 9 into the y bar we have calculated here, it is 160 mm, 160 squared. By resolving this, we get the answer Ixx is equal to 236 into 10 to the power 6 mm power 4. After calculating Ixx, we are going to calculate Iyy. Further, the formula is dBq by 12, dBq by 12 plus area into x bar squared plus 2 into BD cube divided by 12. Then we have to substitute these values. The depth here is same 380 mm and the breadth is 9 mm. The next portion dB cube by 12 is here is 300 and this depth is 9 mm. For this the depth is 380 into breadth is 9 cube divided by 12 plus the area is 380 into 9 into x bar is 150, therefore 150 squared plus 2 into the breadth is 9 into 300 cube divided by 12. By resolving this Iyy, we get the answer Iyy is equal to 117 into 10 to the power 6 mm power 4. After calculating Ixx and Iyy, we have to calculate the Izz, that is the moment of inertia in Izz. For this the formula is Ixx plus Iyy. We have to add this Ixx and Iyy. 236 into 10 to the power 6 plus Iyy is 117 into 10 to the power 6. By adding the answer, we will get the answer as 353 into 10 to the power 6 mm power 4. Then the next step is to find direct shear stress. Find direct shear stress, which is denoted by Q1. For this the formula is, for stress we know the formula is load by area, load divided by area. Here the load applied was 180 kilonewton. You have to convert into Newton. For that you have to multiply by 10 to the power 3, 180 into 10 to the power 3 divided by, for the welded connection you have to calculate the area by using the formula 2b plus d into thickness. Therefore, Q1 is equal to 180 into 10 to the power 3 divided by 2 into, here the breadth is 300 mm, 300 into plus the depth is 380 mm, then the thickness is 9 mm. Therefore, by resolving this we get the answer Q1 as 20 Newton per mm squared. Then you have to calculate the Q2, maximum stress due to moment. For calculating the moment, maximum stress due to moment, we have the formula Q2 is equal to moment divided by IZZ into R max. For calculating the moment, we know the formula, that is the load into eccentricity. That is the load is 180 into 10 to the power 3 into eccentricity given in the problem is 240 mm. 240 divided by IZZ we have calculated earlier. The answer is 353 into 10 to the power 6. Then R max is 242 mm. Therefore, the answer for Q2 is 43 megapascal. Then we have to calculate the resultant stress. Resultant stress, it was denoted by the Q. For this the formula is root of Q1 squared plus Q2 squared plus 2 Q1 Q2 cos theta. We have to substitute the values here. Q1 is 20 squared plus Q2 is 43 squared plus 2 into, then Q1 is 20, Q2 is 43, then theta we have calculated earlier, theta value is 51 degree, therefore cos 51. Therefore, the value of Q is 58 megapascal. Therefore, finally we had found the resultant stress as in 58 megapascal, which is acting on the thickness of the weld. In the previous problem we solved with the symmetrical axis. Now we are going to solve with an unsymmetrical axis, same bracket plate which is connected by the welding. Here we have to find the load in terms of kilonewton. This is the welded portion. Here the axis lies like this, y axis, this is x axis. Here the breadth of the section is 140 mm and the depth is 380 mm. This is the center of gravity of the point. This is the angle theta This is R max. Here the thickness of the weld is 4.2 mm. First we are going to find X bar, then Y bar, R max and theta. X bar, Y bar, R max and theta. First we are going to find X bar. Due to unsymmetrical section, we are using the formula breadth into thickness into breadth divided by 2 into 2 divided by area of the weld. This length is 240 mm. Here the breadth is 140 mm. 140 into thickness of the weld is 4.2 mm. 4.2 into breadth divided by 2, 140 divided by 2 into 2 divided by area of the weld. Same, 2 into 140 plus the depth is 380 mm plus 380 into thickness 4.2 mm. Therefore, X bar is equal to 32 mm. Then we are going to calculate Y bar. Y bar is equal to D divided by 2. Here it is symmetric, so we are using the formula D by 2. Therefore, the D value is 380. Therefore, it is 160 mm. The next step, after calculating X bar and Y bar, we are going to calculate R max. For that we are making a triangle with an angle theta. Here it is R max. We know that the Y bar is 160 mm and the X bar is 32 mm. By using Pythagoras theorem, R max is equal to root of this 160 square plus here it is 140 minus X bar. This is the X bar. Here we have to use 140 minus X bar. For this 160 square plus 140 minus X bar whole square. Therefore, root of 160 squared plus 140 minus the X bar is 32 mm. Therefore, the answer for R max is, by solving this, the answer we will get as 192 mm. Then we have to calculate the value of theta. For theta, we can use tan theta is equal to 160 divided by 140 minus X bar. 160 divided by 140 minus 32. For theta, we will get the answer as 56 degree. Then after finding this theta, R max, X bar and Y bar, we have to calculate the moment of inertia at X, Ixx. For this the formula is BDQ by 12. BDQ by 12 plus 2 into BD cube divided by 12 plus area into Y bar square. We have to substitute B as this thickness of the weld 4.2 mm, then depth is 380 mm, then plus 2, here breadth is 140 mm, then thickness is 4.2 mm divided by 2 divided by 12 plus the area of this section and this section. Then Y bar we have calculated here, breadth is 4.2 mm into depth is 380 cube divided by 12 plus 2 into, here the breadth is 140 and the depth is 4.2 cube divided by 12 plus the area is 140 into 4.2 into Y bar is 160 mm, 160 squared. By resolving this, we get the answer Ixx is equal to 41 into 10 to the power 6 mm power 4. Then we have to calculate Iyy. For Iyy, it is unsymmetrical, so you have to use the formula db cube by 12 plus area into x bar squared plus 2 into db cube divided by 12 plus area into b divided by 2 minus x bar whole square. For this we have to substitute the value for ds. 4.2 into breadth is 140 mm divided by 12 plus the area is 4.2 into 140 then the x bar is we have calculated here, it is 32 mm here, 32 squared plus 2 into here the depth is 4.2 into the breadth is 140 mm divided by 12 plus the value of area is 4.2 into 140 cube divided by 12. Area is 4.2 into 140 into breadth is 140 divided by 2 minus x bar is 32 squared. By resolving this we get the answer Iyy is equal to 4.6 into 10 to the power 6 mm power 4. We have calculated Ixx and Iyy, then we have to calculate Izz. Moment of inertia at z direction. To find Izz, find Izz, we know the formula Izz is equal to Ixx plus Iyy. Ixx value is 41 into 10 to the power 6 plus Iyy answer is 4.6 into 10 to the power 6. By resolving this we get the answer 4.46 into 10 to the power 6 mm power 4. After calculating Izz, we have to calculate the resultant stress. For that you have to find direct shear stress. For that we know the formula Q1 is equal to load by area. Here we have to find the load, that is the P. So you can substitute P into 10 to the power 3 divided by area of the well. 2 into breadth is 140, then depth is 380 and the thickness is 4.2. Hence by resolving this we get the answer Q1 is equal to 0.3p megapascal. Then we have to find Q2. For that the formula is moment divided by Izz into R max. Moment divided by Izz into R max. We know the formula for calculating moment, that is the load into eccentricity. P into 10 to the power 3 into eccentricity we have to calculate it that is 140, that is 240 plus 140 minus x bar. 240 plus 140 minus x bar divided by IZ is it? You know the answer. In R max it is 51. Then IZ is it? It is 46 into 10 to the power 6. In Q2 the answer is 1.43 P MPa. Then we have to find the resultant stress. And we have to calculate the resultant stress, that is Q. Q. For calculating Q, the formula is root of Q1 squared plus Q2 squared plus 2 Q1 Q2 cos theta. You know the answer for Q1, that is 0.3 P whole square plus Q2 is 1.43 P whole square plus 2 into Q1 is 0.3 P into 1.43 P into cos 56 degree. By resolving this, we get the answer for Q is 169 P megapascal. Then we have to find the design strength of the weld. For calculating the design strength of the weld, the formula used is FWD is equal to Fu divided by root 3 divided by gamma MW. This is the partial safety factor of the weld. This can be taken as 1.25. This one Fu we know. This is the ultimate stress of the weld. That is the 410 divided by root 3 divided by 1.25. Here we get the answer as 199 megapascal. By equating this resultant stress and the design strength, we can calculate this P. Therefore, equating this resultant stress 169 P is equal to 189. Therefore, the P value is 112 kilonewton. Hence, the P value is equal to 112 kilonewton.